now that we've found the quickfire questions about you, we're about to see what you think of your teammates with the teammate section.
Okay.
This is where you get to sell a bunch of boys down the river. So, right, we're starting good. Right, teammates with Tom Lindsay, hardest tackler. So this can be players or players you've coached. So you can, if you've seen a coach player.
Dan Ward-Smith used to play for Wasps. He used to play for Bristol as well. Like an absolute mutant of a bloke. He had to retire, unfortunately.
Yeah. Folds people like cheap suits. I love it.
Oh, honestly, yeah. He sat more people down than a game of musical chairs. Like he's one of those blokes who hit you when if someone hits you and you've got a tackle pad and you're hurting, you know he hits hard. So Dan Ward-Smith for me was the hardest tackler I've ever faced.
Amazing. Who's got fastest feet?
David Lemmy. David Lemmy was a joke.
Really?
For a small bloke, him and Christian Wade probably got the best feet.
Ooh, I forgot you played with Christian. Like I thought that would be. Ooh.
Who's
a human turnstile? When you see the guy running at him, you're just thinking, yeah, right. Try under the posts. These are the questions I'll live for because everybody's had the same reaction if they just look away and they just go, oh.
Oh God. Right, Andy Good. So Andy Good wasn't the best tackler technically. However, when he came back from retirement, it's like he was a different person. He was jackling, he was tackling people. So I think Goody in his prime, he was never known for his tackling. That's why Neil Back was in the team for Leicester. But for what he lacked in his tackle tech, he was an unbelievable cult hero and fantastic rugby player.
Yeah. Got it, right. Andy Good is the human turnstile. Right. Who's most up for a night out? Most player that you've ever had that was just like, it could be Tuesday at 3:30, you're doing conditioning, and he just goes, fancy a pint?
Ed Jackson.
Nice.
Without a doubt. Ed Jackson, yeah. And Ed Jackson and Charlie Davis both played with me at Wasps, absolute legends.
Scout professionals, I love that.
Yeah.
Right. Who can't handle a night out?
Or who can't handle a night out? Do you mean someone who smoked bombs or someone who always come but was an absolute liability?
You can do so. Somebody you can't. When I think of somebody who can't handle a night out, it's the person that's in the taxi before like the streetlights have even come on. But if somebody smoke bombs, you can out them for smoke bombing as well. George Taylor outed Matt Scott for smoke bombing.
Yeah, I know. Oh, Matt Scott. Oh, Scotty. Oh
was
God.
Matt Scott. Might have been Matt Scott.
I don't know, because I remember I was at Gloucester with Matt Scott. I can't remember him on socials really, because I was usually the liability. Oh, he was terrible on a night out. There was a bloke who played for Wasps called James Brooks, and I remember he was being such a nose on a social that one of the boys had to knock him out and put him under the table. He woke up about half an hour later and just cracked on. Yeah, but
that's going to be a story for Tom Lindsay too. Tom Lindsay episode 2 is going to be a story.
Yeah, I've got a few of those. Yeah.
Worst fashion sense in the squad that you ever had as a player?
Oh my God, worst fashion sense.
Who's the guy that turned up and you thought, where the hell did you buy that? And who told you it was a good idea?
Max Laheath had some niche fashion sense, but to be fair, he could have worn a set of curtains and he'd look good because he's absolutely shredded. So, oh God, he was just a terrible fashion sense. Oh my God! Look, John Afoa basically he wears anything that was retro, so I'd go John Afoa. It's usually a pair of boot cut jeans with one of his 1,000 pairs of trainers that he's bought off eBay over the last 20 years, a t-shirt and maybe a check shirt. So I'd go John Afoa.
You can't blame a check shirt. Check shirt is a successful day out.
Yeah,
that's a successful.
I suppose. Yeah, I think that's the universal. I don't want to be cold, but I don't want to look like I'm worried about being cold, so I wear a check shirt.
Yeah, very good point. Right, worst lockdown lids. Who from the? I suppose this doesn't really apply to you because the girls came through. I don't know how this one snuck in here, but was there any of your mates? We've just got any of your mates that you spoke to from the old rugby days, and you just went, "Who's coming in with an awful haircut here?"
Oh, okay. It was usually some of the academy boys. They just do each other's hair, and I think it was. I'm trying to think. I feel sorry for him, but Blake Boyland, young scrum half for Bristol,
Mhm.
I don't think it was even a lockdown lid. I think he actually paid for it.
Oh
Like,
no.
I think he got it graded, but like
Yeah.
it was almost like a reverse mullet. Like it'd gone too far
Well,
up, and then he almost it looked like he. Do you remember Ronaldo from the World Cup? He
yeah, classic
basically,
R9. Yeah, the
yeah,
classic R9.
it was like that, but a little bit bigger. So I don't know. It was like someone. It's like he'd gone to see a groundsman at a putting green and asked for just whatever he saw in front of him. I'm surprised he didn't have a little flag on top. But no, it was funny. But he got it sorted eventually. Just shaved it off. But like if
Oh,
boys go to some rogue barbers just to save some money, and for an extra £2, I'd rather have someone cut my hair that I know that's used a pair of scissors before.
who was the biggest joker, like slash prankster, and who was the one that was always just playing pranks?
Elliot Daly, when he was first at Wasps, I reckon people left the club because of him, staff, because there was a period of time where he'd like hide in cupboards and just jump out on people and scare people, and like we had conditioners that just had to leave because he couldn't deal with him. He was a big prankster. I used to do a lot of pranks on away trips.
Yeah.
And I almost retired Ashley Johnson. I thought it was Joe Simpson's one of my best mates.
Yeah.
He's at Gloucester now. And I broke into his room thinking it was his room, and I made the bed upside down. So I turned the bed upside down so the legs were facing up, but I managed to make it so it looked like it was perfect. So I went into my room and I was like, really like giddy, waiting to hear someone go, "Ow!" And next thing I know, I hear a massive bang and like, "Oh my God!" And it was Ashley Johnson. He jumped on the bed to lie down after a long trip. And next thing I know, he's in the physio room trying to get sorted, and he was starting the next day. And I never told him it was me, but oh my God, I think he broke the bed as well. I just felt terrible. But yeah, Joe Simpson's quite a bad prankster as well. He used to go in everyone's toilets, and I don't know if you know what a reverse shit is.
I don't know if I want to know, but I'm going to ask you to explain it now.
It's basically, imagine going for a poo facing the cistern, so it won't drop in the water. It will just sit. He used to do that all the time. And I know that sometimes in hotel rooms as well, like the mirror. Sometimes the mirror in the bathroom can reflect the mirror in like the hallway.
Yeah.
So if someone's walking past, they can see you. And obviously, if you're facing the cistern, you can look at the mirror as well. I think it was on like a 20s camp, and Nigel Redmond walked past, stopped, looked at the mirror, and Joe Simpson's there like laughing, naked. And I don't think they said anything to each other. They just one of those. I never saw anything. We won't say anything ever again.
Yeah. I want nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't see it. So yeah, Joe Simpson was a good prankster as well.
Right, Joe Simpson and Tom Lindsay are the two best pranksters in Tom Lindsay's time in the professional rugby career. Who's the hot stepper? Who's the best dancer? Changing room, big win, 50 points smacked on the rivals. Who's the one that's got who's the one that's just toe tapping in the middle of the changing room?
Who's got the best moves? Oh God. Christian Wade had decent moves, but you can imagine like why the bloke had style. Like, well, what can I say? Like, just an all round top bloke, and he could dance. Like you'd have the other boys that just couldn't dance, who would just stand in the middle of the room, just kind of like very James Haskell, the classic James Haskell. Like, but I can't think else who's a good dancer. Or whenever I think about after the end of a game or a big game, I always think about Richard Barrington. Like you'd follow him to the gates of hell and back every time Saracens win the final or something like that. He's there celebrating in the middle of the change room. So you always need someone like that in a team. But I know it's not dancing, but Richard Barrington for me is someone who would
that counts. Yeah, hot stepper.
Yeah,
he initiates a night out.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, who's the lad? I've wrote it here as skips legs, but who's the lad that you never see in the gym, but he's somehow massive? Like you just never see him in the gym, but you just every time you look at him, you go, "I swear you've put on about 10 kilos of lean muscle."
Okay, there's two different ways of thinking about this. It's Alan Powell. Sorry, not Alan Powell. Sorry. No, it's not Alan Powell. Sorry, that's different. Alan Powell's one of my coaches when I was a kid. Sorry, but Powell, he used to play for Lions as well. He was an unbelievable Nick. Always an unbelievable Nick. Always got bigger. Always got leaner. But I'm going to leave it there. But he was, for me, he's another cult hero for me. Obviously, what he did with his golf cart and stuff like that. Him and I got in trouble. Him and I got in trouble in Poland. We flipped a car together but was ended up being a delivery car for a pizzeria that couldn't work the next day. So we got in trouble. We got in trouble for that. But no, he's an unbelievable bloke. But Schultberger, he didn't do weights.
No,
hated doing weights, but was an absolute enforcer. You'd go around the gym at Sarries and just do like rehab and stuff, and a lot of like maintenance stuff for him. But he didn't do many weights. And like, for someone how attritional and how physical he was outstanding. Like, there's not many boys that do many big weights, but yeah, I remember Schultberger watching him, and I was like, how this bloke was won World Cups. He's dominating New Zealand, and like he almost ended up being a cricketer. Didn't really want to play rugby. He was a cricketer, and someone gave him a go and ended up playing for South Africa. So
it must be nice to be that good at two sports. Huh?
When I find out, I'll let you know. I'm just about good. Yeah. I was almost all right at one sport before I retired. But there you go.
You're almost goalkeeper as well, from what?
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, exactly. There's still time.
When the scouts come on July 25th, we'll
mate, exactly. Who knows?
Do a Dave Cherry. You might be playing at the next World Cup for England.
Mate, exactly. Why not? Why not? Yeah. I know they're having trouble at the moment with keepers, so I'll just keep my phone on loud. Hopefully, Gareth Southgate will give me a call.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Who's the future gaffer? Who is one of the players that you're sat looking at and you're just like, you've got coach written all over you? Like, just knows rugby, loves rugby, spoke rugby, lived rugby, and was just like, I want to coach when this is over.
I think I saw that with Rob Hoadley, but he is now a coach. So a current player who's probably going to. Let me think. Ooh, Mark Irish. So Mark Irish at the moment is a forwards coach at Worcester. Obviously, John Thomas was at Bristol, was with me, and so was Mark Irish. They both went over to Worcester and ran the forwards. And obviously, JT is now head coach. I could see Mark Irish becoming a director of rugby, but he's just so calm and calculated. And he was very honest. So I'd love to see him become a director of rugby or head of rugby at some team, or at least an international coach. He just knows rugby and he knows how to talk to people and get the best out of them.
Yeah, that sounds like perfect director of rugby right there. Right, who's best students? Who's the guy that's got the best music taste for post game or pre game? Obviously, whoever's not firing out Daniel Bedingfield 20 minutes before game.
That actually made me feel better about myself. Let me think. Who's got decent tunes? Because you always want someone, like, especially in a gym, someone to put on decent tunes and not have someone shout next. Like, and that always happened, or bang a gong. Sometimes you'd have a gong in the gym and someone would just bang the gong to be like, get that next song up, or get that. Yeah. Let me think. Jan Thomas. Jan Thomas has got, although he's got the voice of an angel, he has got an unbelievable music taste. Players you wouldn't expect it from the Dancing Bear, but his music taste was fantastic, and he used to get the boys going for the forwards gym. So yeah,
nice.
If you can see Jonathan toe tapping, you know something's going well.
I'd be so scared just trying to see John a seal of approval. I just feel like, John, if you just make any requests, it will just go on straight away.
The thing is, though, the whole thing is, like, if you're like, I've got a great playlist, no matter what you're playing, boys are like, no, next, get it off.
Yeah.
Give me the best song in the world, now get it off. Just to kind of bring it back.
Be a song they've requested, but it's because you put it on. They're just like, no, next.
Well, it's saying that one of the young bats came in, is like, everyone found out that he was a drum and bass DJ. So they were like, fine, yeah, whack it on. Honestly, it was like a drum and bass DJ from a pirate radio station from like the late 90s. Like, it was the quality of music was awful. It was just, I like drum and bass, and it was no pendulum, put it that way. It was horrific. And I think he got asked to leave the gym. He didn't just get asked to turn his music up. He got asked to leave the gym and make him do his weights outside in the rain, just because that's how disappointed the boys were. So there you go.
It's tough growing up in the academy. It's tough growing up.
You got to earn your stripes. Earn your stripes.
Exactly. Right. Who's hard as nails? Who's the one guy you're like, I would never fight him in a month of Sundays?
Let me think. Who was hard as nails? Richard Hibbard plays like on the line. He doesn't really care about his body. Puts his body on the line over and over again. In a street fight, though, I don't know like what it'd be like in like a street fight. Obviously, from my experience of battling in the streets with my yeah. Well,
I think the way you worded it, I was battling in the streets, did
Yeah.
you no favors there either.
Yeah, pistols or swords at dawn, if you know what I mean. That's kind of no. From my vast experience of battling, Jan Thomas. It's like he slipped me 20 quid or something before this interview. He boxes as well, and if you Max Heap's already mentioned it. If you watch him tap in the bag, like I know he's boxed a long time, and he's Gloucester through and through, and yeah, he's someone I wouldn't want to mess around with, to be honest. Saying that, I was on a when I was at Bedford. There was one of the players. I wouldn't say who it was. There was one of the players there, really calm, really quiet guy, another hooker, and really good bloke. And we were in this little French town, and we ended up staying at this club, having a good night out. But this time was tiny, and imagine we had like 30 Bedford boys there, or whatever it's going to be. And we were really enjoying ourselves. We basically took over this club, and that's what happened. The locals weren't very happy about it, and I think the local lads came down and just tried to start a few scraps. And one of the boys got punched and ran in. He was like, "Someone's hurt my nose." Like, one of the boys who was not a scrapper. He was more of a peace preacher, if you know what I mean. Yeah. One of the boys went outside, and you could see him like rolling his shoulders, a bit like Brad Pitt in Snatch. Yeah. Next thing you know, knocks out 3 blokes. Just knocks out 3, like a combo. One of those where you're like, never, ever taking the piss out of you ever again. And then there was another boy as well that couldn't. I think he had his arm in a sling. Yeah. He was running around booting people like it was going out of fashion. So these two were like it was just.
My guy was trying to hit goals from the halfway.
Oh my god! Honestly, they dispatched the entire local kind of familiar, if you know what I mean. And I was just sitting there like I didn't know whether to clap or call an ambulance. Like it was unbelievable. But yeah, from then on, you always worry about the quiet ones, don't you? Like the boys that were really like giving it large were just there, like picking up the pieces. I love
the thought of this tour bus the next day and just 2 seats at the back being available for them that weren't there the day before.
What's funny?
You can sit at the back today.
I think what's funny is one of the boys the one that was like kicking field goals for fun. Yeah. He didn't remember it the next day. He was like, I don't understand. My foot is killing me. He had like, when he goes, my knee to wall. I don't know what's going on my knee to wall. It's like 1 centimeter, and everyone's like, I've no idea, mate. No idea. The other guy obviously knew exactly what was going on because his fists were absolutely killing him. But no, it's the quiet ones. But Jan Thomas for me would definitely be handy. I think if I was orchestrating a street fight, which I won't ever be doing in the future.
In my world of wildest dreams, that I want to organise like a 4-way round robin between Richard Hibbard, Jan Thomas, and these 2 lads from Bradford.
The wild cards. Who would you have as a special guest referee though?
Oh mate, I don't know. Because it was such an outrageous thing, I'd pick.
I'd go Jim Hamilton. Just after that video of him against. Have you seen the video of him with Gloucester?
When they're walking off the pitch, they're walking off the pitch, yeah. No, I'd have like somebody. I'd have somebody rule like Backy's Botha or something like that. Just a proper enforcer.
Yeah, that's a great shout. Oh my god.
I'd pick the world's like least convincing. Like just chuck Peter Stringer in there or something. Just go right. Keep control of that.
Oh my god, yeah, that'd be.
Fair enough. Yeah. Peter Stringer is tough as nails, man. How anybody plays that long for him, I don't know.
No, exactly. Like more. Yeah, fair play to him. He was like a fine wine, just got better with age, didn't he?
Exactly. Right, last one of the teammate section. Which player hogs the mirror in the most post-game? Like, he's had a cracking game. You know he's got a man of the match coming up on Sky Sports. Every lad's just trying to get the hair gel in and get out on the night out. Who's the lad that stood in front of the mirror taking ages?
Andy Uren. Like, really? Fantastic player. Like, not the sharpest tool in the box, but like a fantastic player. Was very vain, but like as long as he was happy when he played, I didn't really care. But yeah, definitely he was making sure he was good for his Instagram pictures and his post-match conversations, and then just making sure he made contact with enough people after the game to keep him relevant. But no, I think he's a top lad, and yeah, definitely one of the most vain players I've seen.
There we go. That's teammates with Tom Lindsay. Everybody has just been so down the river. All I know is